This is the tutorial for the WAUlculator for the luxury tax component of the bid summary tab. So previously, just to recap, on this tab you can use this to track all of your bids during a free agency, the off-season free agency session. This will be helpful if you want to make sure you're not going over the cap. If you do go over your cap space, a warning will pop up here. So please feel free to use this to keep track of all of your bids. So for the luxury task component, there's a couple new rules that are now in effect, and we wanted to make sure that they're incorporated here and that you're aware of them. So say if you had a player who was type A, that entails a luxury tax percentage of 55%. You have to put in the position here, make sure his position is correct. And the position is determined by Fantrax, not by the spreadsheet. So double check against Fantrax. We also need to know the AAV because the luxury tax is determined either by the base by position or the AAV. So this you can get the MLB AAV from COTS. You just go to the header here, click on COTS. It goes to baseball prospectus. So if I got to Adrian Gonzalez, how you determine the AAV is go to the most recent contract, get the years, and divide it by the total value of the contract. And so for Adrian Gonzalez, the COTS AAV is $22 million. So obviously for this new rule, this base value is not in effect, because his AAV is much larger than that. And this is, just to let you know, this graphic right here is incorrect. How it's calculating in the calculator is correct, and Chief is going to be updating that, so just keep that in mind. But this was to avoid problems of not having luxury tax implications if in the MLB had a lower AAV. So that's why this is showing the logic behind here runs to see which is higher. So the luxury tax is going to be based on the MLB AAV. So obviously this bid is way under, and you can ignore it if it's negative, but once this starts turning red, that means that you're paying a luxury tax on that person. So 22 million obviously won't entail that, 0 luxury tax. But going to 25, say, that's what you'll be paying. And this luxury tax is a permanent cap hit. So it's not just for that year. This gets taken off from your team salary cap, so be aware of that. And this number, the total luxury tax, is totaled and distributed from the teams paying luxury tax to the teams that didn't pay luxury tax. So there's a little bit of incentive to not go over the luxury tax. Say if you had a player whose AAV was less than the base AAV by position, so it's like 5 million here, then the luxury tax is determined by this base AAV as described here in the Constitution.